the goals and directions of the DDA. Joan?
Yes, and while all of this was taking place, I lost my screen.
The technical difficulties continue.
Technical difficulties are continuing, yes. Sorry about that. I had it and lost it. So 1 second here. Oh dear. Okay.
Don't pre-tape, it's live TV.
Oh, Will, it signed me out. Oh, people. So twice a year, we are required by the state to have an informational meeting. This is in accordance with Public Act 57 of 2018. For the purpose of informing the public of the goals and direction of the authority, including projects to be undertaken in the upcoming year. So a little quick recap. We've had ongoing programs. The events that were established in 2008 continued with great success. We had Cinema in the Street, Trick or Treasure, the Great Pumpkin Crawl, and Clausen Fest, which returned for a second year in an expanded format. We also have Adopt a Snowman coming up, which will return for December of 2022. And just a quick note that per the DDA work plan, events do not draw on the DDA budget and rely solely on donations and sponsorships. The DDA provides ongoing assistance to all development project and new business owners from site plan to grand opening. It also acts as the first point of contact to inform and assist on all types of business grant opportunities, license applications, and city ordinances and policies. A business assistance grant program is also offered, which has awarded over $38,000 in funding to downtown businesses since its inception. The DDA receives technical assistance, support programs, and grant opportunities through the National Main Street Center and our local Main Street Oakland County program. We've been accredited as a Main Street community since 2011 and have successfully met the accreditation criteria with each year's evaluations. Most importantly, our businesses benefit from the opportunities afforded through Main Street. As far as grants, in this past year, we received an $80,000 MEDC grant for signalized crossing improvements. The status is that it is currently in engineering, and the install is to be complete by the end of July 2023. We have a $7,500 Main Street grant for social district improvements. To this point, the original artwork is in production, and the alley is coming along with tables, chairs, and the arch being installed. We are seeking additional grant opportunities for placemaking projects for an informational kiosk, landscaping, and brick paver improvements. Currently, projects that are in the works, as I mentioned, is the 14-mile alley, the downtown clock. The fundraising was done by 2 high school students. The DDA has taken care of getting the quotes and hiring the firm to get the replacement work done, and that they have received their deposit, and we anticipate that by the end of 2022, the clock downtown will be working. We are, as far as parking and pedestrian safety, we continue to work with SEMCOG to assist and review all parking and pedestrian safety options. We established Dine Clausen, which is a subcommittee of the DDA to market and promote a growing restaurant district. And we continue with public art with silhouette figures that are currently at the DPW awaiting installation. For future goals and projects, we continue to work on fundraising, the Downtown Neighbors Program, placemaking, making sure that we're a welcoming place that invites visitors. Continue to, as far as placemaking, work on the social district, and to improve parking for current and future growth. We will also be looking at maintaining the annual events and/or creating new events, and develop a landscaping and maintenance plan, which is sorely needed. And this presentation will be on our website, downtownclawson.com. And that is that for that portion. Next, we have a financial mid-year budget review. And I can see that this isn't working well again. I kind of do need to share the screen for these. Here we go. And this part, our treasurer is going to take over.
Oh, I cannot see that. That's okay. We'll do it from memory mostly. Oh, I can see. Yeah. Okay. So this first is essentially just a graphic representation of the reports that we get monthly. So this shouldn't be a surprise to anybody on the board, but for the public, it's a good overview of how our money gets spent or where our money comes from. So the revenue streams, the majority of our revenue comes in from property taxes, and then we've got event sponsorships, and this year's budget looked a little different with the operating transfer in the general fund, and I think that was just the correction.
You covered the Merge Live recordings.
Oh, okay, okay. But I mean, it's a little blip there, anyways. Okay, so if you go to the next slide, this is our expenditures. The majority is on our debt and the bond payments from the previous landscaping or streetscaping bonds. And then salaries, supplies, and then kind of small bucket items, administrative and audit fees, construction and repairs, professional development, other professional services, and grant appropriation all come in at like 1% to 7%. So pretty minor there, but nope. And then these slides just look at where we're at year to date. The darker color on the bottom is, what has come in so far versus budgeted is lighter, which is appropriate for partway through the year, I think. And then the same with the expenditures on the next slide. So we're in good shape. We haven't overspent anything.
Always a good thing.
Yeah.
And that will conclude what
Thank you very much.
are required to do. Were there any questions about any of the, where we are, and what's happening?
I don't think so. Are we convinced that our numbers are correct on all the budgets?
Yes.
Excellent.
Revenue is absolutely showing correct now, yes.
And putting them graphically, it's nice to see, like, we're directly in line with where we've been the last 4 years of doing those reports. So.
And it's also, I think, very important to point out that we are completely cash flow positive on all of our events. Sometimes not a big flow, but everything that we do for the downtown self-supports, and it's always brings in a little tiny bit of money. And they've all been successful this year. It's been great. Okay, so do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
And are we now capable of Joan, can we approve the financial reports for the last 3 months? Hallelujah, that's so exciting. Okay, all in favor of approving?
Aye.
Perfect, consent agenda is passed. Director report, Madam Director.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, still with the whole technical thing going on over here. Trying to switch between everybody's slides. So just a couple things just to recap from October, since we did not have a quorum. I just wanted to touch on a couple things just to get them on the record, which is recap from October on downtown businesses, that the Lucky Duck at 38 South Main, as we know, has closed for business. Triple Thread at 25 West 14 Mile has a new owner. David Thomas is now the owner of Triple Thread. Nothing has changed as far as product. And can we send our congratulations again to Bob White as he celebrates sole ownership at Clausen Auto Sales now. The grant update, the Michigan Enhancement Grant from the Michigan Department of Michigan Economic Development Corp. For the Hawk traffic signal at East 14 and Florence has a new timeline, which was submitted with the required MEDC reporting. The new start date for engineering was October 31st, and the project end date is July 25th, 2023. Moving on to this November. Sadly, we have to say that Andrea and Tyler Williams have made the decision to close Pumachug at East 14 Mile. COVID, as we know, is still affecting businesses, and they continue to recover from the effects of the pandemic. Commercial construction continues in the downtown. We've still got Broadway Square retail space and the Claustonian apartments, which are the ACE development. I mentioned Broadway Square in the last newsletter and got questions, emails back. What's Broadway Square? Oh, it's ACE. So more commonly, the ACE development. Second floor commercial space at 24 East 14, which is above Sabbath Coffee. Outside the downtown, there are projects at 400 South Main, 331 North Main, Biscuits and Gravy, which is looking pretty nice right now.
It's so much fun to watch the construction on that with the chicken just sitting on top of it. Makes me
Yeah.
very, very happy.
Hatching it,
Yeah.
so to say, yeah. 78 to 84 West 14 Mile, which is the former Limbs, and 516 North Main, which is the mixed-use development across the street here. In other news and updates, efforts to improve municipal trash collection in the downtown continues. SACRA controls the recycling pickup, and they have so far been unable to provide additional pickup days. For 2 months now, it's been, well, we're looking into it. Cardboard recycling in particular remains problematic. As I mentioned in the presentation, the clock work is underway for the downtown clock. A deposit has been sent from the Clausen Community Foundation to Lumicron, the company that the work was awarded to. The foundation provided the nonprofit status for the clock fundraising and holds and issues the funds. Lumicron intends to complete the work before the end of the year, and we will schedule a ribbon-cutting celebration once it's complete to thank everyone for all of their efforts. As far as the alley artwork, the steel has been received and cut, and the material has now moved to the next contractor for welding and assembly. After that, it will go to its final place, or almost final place, for priming and paint. Then it will be ready to put up. There was a question earlier about the social district and hours. According to the maintenance plan that we filed with the state, it is open throughout the year, 7 days a week, and is open from the time participating license holders open for business until midnight. On other grants, the $1,000 sustainability grant from Oakland County, they have visited the pedestrian islands and will make recommendation soon, and will do the planting. That's it from me.
Thank you very much. Anybody have any questions? And our city manager is here today. Joe, do we have a report?
Good morning, Chair, Mayor, members. Nothing of substance to report to you, other than I did inform you that post the council's approval of the budget amendment, that I would be here along with the finance director to answer any questions and provide additional confidence to your financial statements that I am happy to say you approved on your consent agenda.
Well, we're very happy to approve them. It's nice to know how much money we have.
Yes, ma'am.
Joan, anybody have any questions? Sam? I think we're good.
Fantastic, thank you.
Okay, Annika. We're delighted to have the lovely Annika Norris here, senior planner, Main Street, Oakland County, and one of our long-term Clausen DDA pals.
Oh, thank you. It's nice to be here this morning. So I just wanted to come and talk to you about Main Street. I know not everyone is 100% familiar with Main Street. I think more people are comfortable talking about the DDA and what the DDA is and does. I'm your liaison from Main Street, Oakland County. We are a coordinating program that works directly with the National Main Street Institute, which is a nationwide, basically economic development tool. It was established we were established in 1998. The National Main Street program is over 40 years old. We're 22 years old. Some people question why you're not under the state Main Street program, and that is, there's a couple reasons. One, because Oakland started before the state program. The state program kind of came in and went out, and Oakland County the leadership at the time felt it was extremely important to have their own Main Street program. There are 28 communities that participate in the Oakland County Main Street program, and if you think about Michigan and the scale of Michigan, there are approximately the same number or a few less within that program. We are able to get to all of our programs within about an hour, depending on where you live and where that community is. So it allows us to give a lot of time and effort to the communities that participate in the Main Street program in Oakland County. So we feel pretty special that we are one of the only, county program. And it just allows us to have that better relationship with each of our communities and support you more. At least that's how we feel. So we hope you feel the same. Let's see here. Let's go to the next slide. Well, and I guess while we're on Main Street, that picture there kind of showed the majority of us that work on your team. You have five people that are strictly Main Street. Myself, John Bry, who is the lead coordinator, Tim Colbeck, we've got Eric Phillips, and of course, I think you guys have all met wow, it's early and I'm
The
fighting
other
a
guy.
migraine. Yeah. So we have an architect on staff, and we also have an additional person that kind of came over to us from the business consulting side. So, next slide. Sorry. So, basically, like I said, we're an economic development program, Main Street is, that focus on historic preservation. It's not just about revitalization, though. The big thing for historic preservation is because, you know, that's that whole sense of place in your downtown, as how you get people to your downtown and to open their businesses up and want to continue to come downtown. Historic preservation provides that story of your community, and so that's why it's such a strong component of the Main Street program. We also focus on sustainability and moving forward, because a lot of our downtowns in Oakland County have actually been revitalized. Yes, you deal with vacancies occasionally, but you have to kind of continually repeat that cycle and talk about sustainability and how you continue to sustain the overall program. But we'll get into the 4 points of the program as we continue on here. Next slide. I think there's two little points here on this particular slide. Main Street, the impact overall, dollar for dollar, Main Street has proven itself to be one of the most impactful, cost-effective community revitalization models in the country. And I think the biggest reason for that is because it's a grassroots organization from the bottom up. It is the business owners, it is the residents that really support the DDA and push all of these things. It's the committees where you do awesome programming that you're basically, you're not relying on funding from the budget. Those projects that you do, those events that you do, bring in the money to take care of themselves and hopefully provide a little bit more money for the next one. And then this is just one of the quotes from one of the chair, Ed McCone. Downtowns matter. Downtown is important because it's the heart and soul of any community. If you don't have a healthy downtown, you simply don't have a healthy town, right? We all need that place to congregate, to come together, to celebrate, and to go through hard times like COVID. And as we found out, I think a lot of people maybe forgot about how important their downtowns were to them until COVID hit, and then they really remembered how important those downtowns were, how they missed the events, how they wanted to support the restaurants and make sure that their towns survived through that difficult time. Next slide. We'll go through these quickly. It's just you are one of 13 select level communities in Oakland County. It means you have to provide stats to us, go through the evaluation every year, and a few other things. And the evaluation, some people kind of are like, oh, I don't want to have to go through this evaluation every year. It's kind of a pain. I don't know if it's worth it. But when we look at that evaluation, it's not meant to be punitive. It's meant to bring everybody together to remember again what you all do as a board, what your volunteers do for you in your downtown, and just kind of, I don't know, it's almost kind of like a retreat in a much smaller form. It makes us look introspectively and figure out what things are working really well and maybe what things we can adjust and change going forward. And just so you know, there's 2 other levels of the Main Street program. They don't get quite as much funding, quite as many grant opportunities. They all do get this. I mean, I think all of our communities get the same level of support from us. We like to meet you where you are. If you really want support from us, we're there for you. If you kind of don't want so much support, you know, we're still going to support you, but we're not going to hound people. And then there's the partner level, and then this is the allied level. And everyone's kind of working to become to select, but we understand and realize that some corridor communities or maybe like a rural kind of Four Corners downtown like Leonard is probably never going to be a select community, but they're still important. We still can all learn from each other, and they're important to be a part of the program. Okay, the 4 points, and I know we talked to you a lot about these. The best way to remember it is DOPE as the acronym: design, organization, promotion, and economic vitality. And economic vitality is basically, looking at your market data, projects like ACE that are a mixed-use project, making sure that if you have design guidelines, that you're following those guidelines, best practices and overall planning. And then, I think one thing that you guys do well, the other part of design is making sure that we're looking at her historic preservation and at least telling our story. We might not have a lot of historic buildings in all of our downtowns, but telling the story of where you came from, how you became who you are, and then any buildings that you have, telling those stories as well is important. Promotion, pretty simple, right? The events that you do. The one thing that we talk about, though, and is extremely important to us in Main Street, is that those promotional events really, they really come back to what your overall mission is for your downtown, right? We're not just holding an event to hold an event. We're holding an event to say, this is part of our mission, and this is who we are, and this is why we're doing it. Organization, again, pretty straightforward. It's you guys, it's what you do, it's your committees. But the biggest thing, again, is that all of these go together and work for an overall community transformation. And sometimes those big words like community transformation, it's basically making sure that the town is sustainable, right? Everything that we do is to go to the mission point of the organization and create that downtown or sustain the downtown. So you can go ahead. I think we I did it all without the slide, sorry.
Nice pictures. Thank you.
Overall, so National Main Street has 9 guiding principles, and we add one. But they're important to do all the time, or to think about in our work plans and in our planning process, right? So overall, everything, it should be comprehensive, right? We're looking at the big picture. We're not, whenever we do an event, or there's a design, or there's a new project that wants to come into the downtown, does it fit into the overall comprehensive plan? Our master plans are extremely important. My background is urban planning. When we do a master plan for the community, that's everyone's input from the community. So when we do anything for the downtown, it should follow that master plan, because our community members have decided on that master plan, and there's a reason to follow. Everything that we do should be quality, that we have. What are our assets? What things do we have? Do we have a building inventory? Do we have a parking inventory? Do we understand where our historic buildings are? Have we done a walkability asset, walkability, not asset, but do we know where there are issues with ADA, and how can we work to fix those things? Just different things like that. Change is difficult. It's really hard, but everything changes. And how can we work to make that change easier on our community? Incrementalism is, I think, the number one thing up there. Well, besides repeat at the end. But incrementalism, we can't change everything overnight. The DDA, Main Street, everything is meant to be done in small bites. Self-help, we provide you all these tools, but you take them and do them, and then just ask for our assistance when needed. The public-private partnership is absolutely huge. We can get bigger things done when we bring the private in to help us, because we know that the public isn't where all the money is, right? So those joint ventures are pretty big. Action-oriented, we have a work plan, we follow the work plan. Flexibility is just something that we have to be able to be flexible in time, and I think you guys have done a great job, especially, you know, we've all been challenged here during COVID and going in and coming out slowly. We're not there yet, but following that process and repeating it is huge. That is our ninth guiding principle, that we have to repeat things. A lot of times people say, well, Main Street's only about revitalization, and I know I said this earlier, but I think it's a really key point. It's not just about revitalization, it is about sustainability, and you can't sustain a downtown without repeating the process over and over again. You change your goals, right? Because you completed a project. Now you change your goals, and how are we gonna do the next steps? So, next slide. So what we provide you from National Main Street, or from Main Street Oakland County, is technical assistance. So that technical assistance is typically a grant between $7,000 and $7,500 every year for a project. This last year it was for the social district. And the year before it was for, or 2 years before it was for the parking study.
We've also done the pedestrian islands and walkability, so we've made use of the technical assistance, usually for big projects. It's been
Yeah.
very helpful.
And that's our goal. And we know it's, obviously everybody can use more money, and $7,500 doesn't always seem like a lot, but it is amazing to see what our Main Street communities can do with those small grants. And then we also provide every year for the select level communities the In Your Town training, which was initially intended to provide training to board members or businesses or however you use that. During COVID and still now, we've been finding that business owners don't really have the time to sit down and do a training, or even if they feel like they really want the training, don't have the time. So we've allowed last year and this year that the $1,500 for In Your Town training to go along with the technical visit money. So you also have the $1,500 for the social districts to help support that, and we have to be flexible too, and we have to understand what the needs of our main streets are, so we change those depending on. And we also have grants that we offer. I think that's in the next slide. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go ahead one more slide. There we go. We also offer grants, Genesis and Flagstar. We have built relationships with these. So the Genesis Credit Union provides us between $1,500 and $5,000, depending on the year, grants for new businesses that are 5 years or newer. And maybe you haven't even actually started your business yet, but you have a business plan and you're ready to go. Twice a year, we send out a call for grants and for this program, and Weiss got that. Weiss Distillery got it for a water line one year to help towards that. I mean, I think it was $2,500, which doesn't, all these things are intended to be helpful, not complete the entire project. And then Flagstar is a placemaking grant that we do twice a year, and that the DDA can go after as well, or businesses can go after. And those grants are typically $2,500. So we do our best to try to provide funding. And if you can go back, I'm sorry, I kind of went out of order here. Yeah, okay, forward one slide, sorry. And we're here to provide education for boards and businesses and directors as well. And then I guess the one thing, I think you guys are pretty clear and understand what it is that your responsibilities are. I know a lot of boards sign like a little contract when they join a board to understand exactly what it is. So, next slide. I guess what's new? What's new is we're trying to still go after money for all of our Main Street organizations. We're trying to get a little bit more ARPA funding so we can do some projects. We continue that public-private partnership and trying to leverage additional grants from banks and other areas. We are really focusing on economic vitality. This year, we can run market studies and Placer AI data, which is really awesome. The Placer AI data is cell phone data that shows you, it is very big brother. It shows you where people come from when they come into your town, where they go by block. You can't really hone in quite to the business unless it's the only business on the block. But anyway, it gives you a lot of stats that are really cool and really important for business owners. And we can run that data. I know Eric's reached out to you, so we'll have that data for you. And then along with that, the market study kind of shows you there's a surplus deficit. It shows you what potential businesses maybe you could bring in if you are oversaturated in some areas and not in others. It's pretty detailed data on helping you market businesses to your downtown. And so that's kind of a big thing that we've really been working on with all of our communities. And we are here for you on whatever it is that you need that we can try to connect you to. I don't always have the answers. Joan will call me with questions, and I do my very best to get to the right people, to get the answers to her or connect her to someone outside with maybe a firm that can help respond. I definitely don't claim to have all the answers, but I am
But you
here
find
to
them.
support you. I do my best to find them, yes. That's kind of it. And sorry, it's early. A lot of information early on, but I just wondered if there are any questions from you.
Thanks for that. Quick question. Is there any like marketing in the program? Like anyone or programs that you do with marketing or something?
Well, we have, I didn't talk about that. We do have a website. It's a tourism website where we market all of our downtown Main Street programs. And we are desperately trying to get additional money, ARPA funds, to support that. Because basically we have just enough in our budget to maintain it. But it's a really cool website. It's on Visit Detroit, or not Visit Detroit. We're partnering with Visit Detroit now. It is Visit Oakland County, which just a quick little nugget. When you typed in Visit Oakland County 4 years ago, the first thing that came up was how to get to Oakland County Jail. Now, when you type in Visit Oakland County, you get a website with the Main Street programs.
Cool.
So we are continually trying to get that better. And John, I don't know if I kind of jumping the gun on this one, but John just got permission to do an additional marketing website that will focus downtown businesses, and it will be it's basically like a website. If you have a business in a community, you would be able to sell items on that website. And we've tried some additional things in the past that didn't go over well at all, but this is actually a tried and true program, and I don't have the actual name of it with me right now, but it was really cool. We've sat down with them a few times now. We've had a group of managers that have looked at it and played around with it to make sure that it would be something that will be very useful for us, but it would be like, our goal is that every community will put in $1,000 towards it, and we will put in the big chunk, which I think is somewhere around $23,000 a year to keep it active. So we are always trying to find marketing initiatives to help. And if there's something specific that you would like to see, please.
I'm just bringing it
let me
up
know.
because like what I noticed with like a lot of local businesses and stuff is like, you know, we all build like great stuff, great menus and stuff, or like great offerings, but the marketing is, I think, where we kind of lack. I mean, like, for example, like Hollow Ice at the distillery, like, I spent a lot of time looking at new marketing stuff, like reaching out directly to the news and like article writers and stuff like that. And I think that can help like every business. So like I mean, besides what you do, but like for the DDA too, like we need to look at how can we get Clausen more on like the marketing side and stuff. And is that like ads or something, or reaching out to different like news agencies? Like, I don't know, I think we need to figure out a plan there too, so. Because like we have a lot of great food here, a lot of great stores, but like marketing wise, like, you know, we have posts on downtown Clausen, on the Facebook, and those get a lot of likes. I mean, when we put the lights up in the alley, that had like 660 likes, so getting more in people's faces is like the way you get them down here, I think, so.
Yeah, I agree.
Figuring that out, I think, is important, so, I mean, that's great to hear that you have like that marketing stuff on the, you know, you're working on that, so.
Yeah,
maybe we
that
can
really
tap into
should be a
that.
committee that we have that starts looking at a plan and how we're going to establish that. So
That's a.
we have a
that's
job for you.
Yeah.
Hey, that's fine.
Yeah.
I think that's really great. And then maybe looking at ways in which we can kind of get some money to help
Yeah.
support that.
Because also like the social district fund, like we're building cool stuff for that, but it's gonna sit there unless we get the word out too. So
Right.
figuring that part out is important. So, but yeah.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, we've really, we've just kind of dug in deep with Visit Detroit. The county's given them quite a substantial amount of money, and we haven't, you know, there's not been a lot that's been done, but we are working really close with them in the last 3 months, and they're going out and doing videos of all of our downtowns, and so that's another small little marketing piece. But if we can somehow tie them all together, and I think that is an amazing idea to start up a new committee, and see where we can go.
That's all I got.
Okay, cool. Any other questions? Thank you for your time. I greatly appreciate it.
Monica, thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay, project committee updates. What's going on with Dine Clausen?
All right, Diane Clausen, as we said earlier, you know, took a huge hit with losing Lucky Duck and Puma Chug, so that does hurt. Kind of piggybacking on Shop Small Saturday, or Small Business Saturday, we're going to do a promotion, still kind of in the works here. I should have it all kind of buttoned up by the end of today, but basically kind of calling it the Show Us Your Heart promotion. And what we do is encourage people of the city to kind of go around to local downtown businesses, take a picture, either a selfie at the location, picture of the building, picture of the people there if they're willing to stand in for a picture or a product. Tag the Downtown Clausen Facebook page, tag the business, hashtag the Show Us Your Heart, and then tell us why you love the business and, you know, why you love that Downtown Clausen thing, the people there, whatever you want to do, be kind of specific to what you want. Every entry that they put in, so if I go and do 5 different ones, I'll get entered into a raffle 5 times to basically get a chance to win $100 in Clausen dollars. The second prize would be $50 in Clausen dollars, and the third prize would be $25 in Clausen dollars. So Joan and I worked out a little bit of this yesterday, but we'll go through, finalize it. I think it'll be a good way to kind of get people out. Hopefully get some photos of the restaurants, some of the other local businesses. You know, it's not exclusive to anything, just anything of the downtown, so.
And as a tie-in to that, they can also send their photos in to the Oakland County contest and have a chance at winning $1,000 or $500. So all for just being able to take a photo. They don't have to be in it, but they have to be in the business or in front of it
Yeah,
and
that's like a
showcase it.
perfect way of marketing without spending a lot of money, right? So-
Right.
So I'm going to try to make a little flyer up for that one so we can kind of post it on the downtown. If you guys want to share it on your like personal business web pages and all that, that'd help and kind of get it out there. I mean, we are getting, like you said, with the Downtown Clawson Facebook page, there's a lot more traffic now that we've been active with the restaurant weeks and all that. So the visibility is a lot more, but it's also just getting that interaction. When we do have good posts like lights in an alley or the Dario, we get a lot of interaction, which is awesome. So. But, yeah, that's all I got right now.
It's a lot. Thank you very much. Have we covered everything on the alley?
I think we have.
Yeah, we did.
And the landscape, I think we talked about earlier in the other presentation, that we're just waiting for the Oakland County to come through with what they think a plan is going to be for plants that will be sustainable, that can handle high heat and no water and salt. So,
There's some nice plastic ones,
I was
I think.
just going to say, plastic, that would work, but there must be something else.
Might be simple, efficient, buy it once. And the landscape, we have anything new on that, now that we're going into non-landscape time? I do want to just mention how much we appreciated all the help we've had from businesses and people who took care of the landscaping in front of their properties. That was really nice.
Yes.
Now, this is exciting. Let's talk trash.
Yeah.
We're still talking about buying fancy trash cans for the downtown. How's our progress on that?
Well, I think we're still at the same point, that we have the one company that we discussed in September with the rolling carts and garage that it went in. Those were $1,500. We do have the artwork that we're doing in the alley is going to come in, I think, under the budget that we had anticipated. The tables that went in, Leon and Lulu paid for, so that didn't come out of that budget. So, that kind of helped us. And we could use that money for the social district that we have left, which is going to be just under $5,000. And we could use that towards the trash cans for the social district, if that is how we would like to use it. And then that would just be deciding how many. I'm seeing a frowny face there.
Well, it seems to me the trash cans is pretty important because we generate trash. More people who are socially drinking generate more trash, and the current cans are pretty unattractive and don't stay where they're supposed to be. So we'll continue to pursue it over the winter and hope to have an answer by spring.
If that's what you want to do, or
Can
actually.
we order at least a batch of them and get them out there and then place a second? Is there a volume
No,
discount or anything?
no,
So
the
we could order-
volume number was so big that you'd need to do the entire city of a city much larger than ours in order to get anything.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like it'd be advantageous just to at least
Get started.
If we have budget straight away for 4 or 5 of them, even if we got 4 or 5 of them, we would at least then be able to anticipate if they'll work everywhere, if there'll be issues.
We can order 3 out of this money that we have for the social district, the grant from Oakland County. We can add to it out of our operating supplies if we want to order a couple more.
Can you remind me, do we have to get new carts for that? Or do we
No,
use the
came with the
existing one?
cart.
It comes with the cart, and they will pick it up, Tringali?
That's what they're telling me. Of course, I will double check with them again, but yes, I've asked them 3 times and was assured that yes, they would pick it up. Then the added benefit of these is that they're steel, and as Valerie was saying before, we can put magnetic signs on the side to advertise an event or whatever we would like to do.
Well, I would like to suggest that we start a program where local businesses sponsor some of the trash cans. So,
So, Joan, we talked about earlier, we were going to keep the ones that have the cage around them already.
Yeah, we can.
And then we're getting rid of the barrel style ones.
They're
that
gone.
They're gone already.
They're gone, the rolling carts took their place, so like Mary Liz has said before, it looks like the neighbor that doesn't take their trash in.
Yeah.
Carts are sitting out all the time.
Have we looked at kind of efficiency on where they go? So like, I know like in front of Noble Fish, at one point we had like 2 to 3 trash cans right in front of that building. Obviously, they have a lot more flow to it, but is it the larger trash can going there going to be enough to hold that one? We maneuver the older ones down so we can kind of limit the amount of money that we spend out of the social district budget and look to earmark some of that for something else, you know, promotional items.
And they
know.
may want, they have asked me, you know, what they can do. They need to make sure that they had, I explained, trash cans at their own entrances that they would be picking up.
Yeah.
It may be they would prefer to have one of these in front of their place.
Yeah.
That they might want to, and we can talk to them about that.
I think we may also find that some of the businesses will need to empty the trash cans that are in front of their own establishments, especially somebody like Noble. We might point that out to them so that we don't have really beautiful overflowing trash cans throughout the city
The
of Clawson
problem
if we
with
don't
that,
get
though,
frequent
is
enough pickups.
The big dumpsters get overfilled, so where are we gonna dump that? And we can't lift those big
You
things.
can't lift the rolling carts.
Yeah, they're huge, they're
No.
like 65 gallons. So,
Well, if we want to proceed with this, Leon and Lulu would sponsor one of the trash cans.
yeah, I'll sponsor one too.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna really quickly add to that, like, I know we have those tables for the social district too. Are we gonna do like actual signs or, because we have the tables that like you laminated.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think those are
They're
feasible.
Oh, no, we
done.
have signs that are made. The
They're
DPW
done,
hasn't
or-
put them up.
Okay, cool.
Signs that will go on posts that say social district. It has the QR code on it.
Okay.
And the tables will disappear.
Yes, the tables, hopefully, it would be nice if we could get that done before winter, because I'm sure they would like those out of their way too. So I will push that aspect of it. If you would like those tables gone, we're going to need the signs to go up.
Yeah. I mean, they probably want that if they want to clean the snow and stuff.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. That's why it might motivate them to want to put those posts in.
So let's make a plan to have some kind of a plaque that goes on the trash cans that says, sponsored by Weiss, sponsored by whoever,
Okay,
and see who else we can
The only other thing
get
that I
to
would
kick in.
add with, that's fine, that's great, but the only other thing I would want to add is, though, like if we did all 8 of them or whatever the number was, I reached out to them, it was like 14,000 for all of them. But like we could try to import them and it'd be like 8,000. I think you get a similar quality and everything. But that comes down to using their cart then, and like if Tringali's not gonna wanna pick up these other carts, like that's gonna be a big waste of money. So that's like the outlier for me, is figuring out which cart they'll take. Cause I mean, I don't know, they might say they'll take it, and then what happens if they're like, oh, it doesn't fit on our truck like that?
right. Well, I don't really have the specs for anything that you were talking about before, so
I mean, those are custom made, so it's really whatever we want, but yeah.
But I mean, again, we're going to have to look at the specs of the other company. They say they're the only ones that make these, but what's the thickness of the steel? How are they made? I don't know, so I wouldn't know how to order one.
I mean, I can do the importing stuff. I do that all day, but it's just like, what do we feel comfortable with? Like, I don't know if we can like ask them for a sample of this or something.
I don't think they'll sell you one. I
Yeah.
don't think they're going to send us a sample.
I mean, maybe I'll reach out to them and talk to them some more. See.
Okay, the Secure Company?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. You were gonna say something?
So that, we really do have this funding that Oakland County would like us to close out this,
Well, I make a move that we use the funding that Oakland County has so graciously provided to enhance the trash situation on the streets, the mean streets of Clawson.
I mean, can we cash that? I don't know how you get that, but can we cash that and we're using it
we
towards
need an
that? We just want to make
invoice.
this.
We need
Okay.
an invoice.
Gotcha.
Is there a second for that motion?
I'll second your motion.
All in favor of proceeding with trash cans using the Oakland County money? We have 2 businesses so far who will sponsor additional trash cans.
Well, do we want to wait on, well, okay, so we can buy 3, basically, with the money that we have.
If you can buy 3, Dennis can buy one, I can buy one.
And again, Dennis is saying, do we want to go to a different means of getting those? Or at least the extra
Well, the questions
ones?
about doing a direct import on them is whether we know the vendor and really trust that we're going to get from China what we
Right.
want. It's
Well, the
way out
ones
of
we are
anything I
getting from them
import.
is from China already too.
But somebody else is taking care of it, working with a domestic manufacturer. What the freight's going to be from China, as well as the cost of the goods, I don't know if that was in your quote.
That was, like, I got
That
a
includes
quote-
freight landed?
Yeah, it was 8,000, like, it was like, I think it was 7 or 8. I can pull it all up, but I know the other ones were 14,000. So
Well, if we can get references on it and get it in a timely fashion, because that, of course, is the other problem,
that is the problem.
is how long it takes to get anything from overseas.
Cool.
Then I have no problem with the direct import, it's just as long as we've crossed and dotted everything.
Well,
So Dennis, you going to push for that?
Yeah, I'll look into it again today, so.
Fabulous.
so then we may have to have another meeting next week if we're going to make.
Well, I
if we're
think that
gonna
it's
hire
worth another
order
meeting to get
something.
this trash
Okay.
thing over and get it off the permanent place on the agenda.
That would be great.
Yep.
And then I think among us, we should think of other businesses who might be likely to help us with the trash can sponsor. And now we're up to 6 trash cans for the city of Clausen. This is just fabulous. I'm going to go
Like
buy
an
some fast
auction.
food.
Yeah.
But let's look around and see who else is going to kick in for one, and maybe we can cover the whole thing without hitting a whole lot of it out of the DDA budget.
Cool.
Yep.
We good?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, all
Okay.
right. Do we want to look at a meeting time next week? Is,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
yeah.
How
what's
about-
good?
Keep
For
in mind
everybody.
it's Thanksgiving. Probably Tuesday.
I won't be here.
Tuesday?
How about Tuesday? Can we do it a little later?
Please,
What?
please.
Please? Okay, how about
We can do Monday
Tuesday?
afternoon, it
How about
doesn't matter.
Tuesday at Three Cats at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock? I'll have coffee and something to eat.
Can we have a Zoom link? I'll do it from
Yeah,
work.
Valerie's at work.
Yeah, I'd be.
Yeah, 10 o'clock's bad for me.
Okay, what time is good for, we just have we have to be down,
I mean, I can attend virtually.
Okay,
from
we could do
work. It
that.
wouldn't bother
Yeah,
me so
virtually
much.
would be easier, so.
do we want to do it earlier?
How about the
I just can't do it before 9, absolutely earliest.
I can do 9, I can't do 10 or 11.
Okay, decisions for you non-locals, 9 o'clock? Zoom it?
In person or Zoom?
We can Zoom it.
Yeah, then pick whatever time you want and Zoom it, and I'll just put it on my calendar.
It shouldn't be long taking, should it?
No.
Okay, let's do it at 10 o'clock. We'll do it at Three Cats. We'll Zoom it, and we will provide some form of refreshments. Yes?
Cool.
Yes.
Yep.
I will. I'm
I'll
just
check my calendar. If I can work from home that day, I'll make it happen.
Okay. And that concludes our trash talk for this edition of the DDA. Any other comments or questions or thoughts from the board? Joan, I think you had something. Downtown dollars?
Oh, well, yes, we were talking about that yesterday. I think with the holidays coming up, and I know we're going to see a lot of people upset because we lost a restaurant, and what are we doing? Well, maybe it's time to remind people a little bit that everybody is still suffering the effects of the of COVID. That, a downturn in business, and let's support that through the downtown dollars, and that we could put some money towards that program and do like we did the first year when we had the buy one, get one offer of if you bought one at $25, you got a $5 card. If you bought a $50 card, you get a $10 card. If you buy a $100 card, you got $25 gift card bonus. And the DDA would put in the bonus money and the fees. So I would like to know if we could look at putting in, say, $2,500 out of our operating budget to fund that program and see if we can't get some more money downtown.
what was the bonus money amount we used in 2020?
That was it.
It was 2,500 that sold out in the first day?
No,
Or-
that was the, what sold out in the first day was a matching dollar program, and that was through Consumers Energy. They gave us $10,000 to put in that program as long as it was a matching one. So if you bought a $100 one, you got a $100 one.
Oh, right.
My
That
only,
sold out quickly. I talked to them yesterday. They are no longer doing that program.
my only concern about having us do a bonus program for so much less money available, as well as so much less money on the match, is that it's not going to look particularly robust after $10,000 matching, where you spent 100, get 100. This year, you're fighting for 2,500, you're only going to get 25.
We ran it that way every year.
But we didn't run it that way after 2 years of consumers doing a much
No,
bigger
we
program.
continued it, we have continued it that way. In fact, we sold a lot as that buy one, get one offer. The money that we got from consumers was a special blowout sale, basically. It went on immediately, and here's something in addition to the program that we have, quickly until they sell out. They sold out in a day. But we maintained the buy one, get one, and still had, I still have a $5 one from a $25 card I bought. So we did sell those.
I should know the answer to this, but I don't. Did we go through our whole $2,500 last year and the prior year?
We actually have $800 in
Leftover?
leftover, and there is some money in there for fees, and I think
Right,
we have to set
covered the
aside some money
fees.
yet for the fees, because we also paid the fees, so that they didn't have that 1.5% or 2% or whatever it is for, for doing the purchase.
I agree that I just wanted to compare where we were at. Is it enough? Because to say, we're kicking $2,500 back into businesses is great, but is it enough of an oomph for that pull?
We can always add more, but we did not sell out
Right.
at the 2,500.
So if we didn't spend it last year, potentially it's enough.
And we can always add to it, and if it isn't used, we can take it back out.
Right.
It's not like we lose the money. But that kind of starts it.
Yeah, it's the beginning of the season. We could make a decision to do it this month, and then next month or halfway through revisit and allocate more money if we needed it, right?
We can always change the program. I mean, we can always say if there's money in it still, you can do a special Mother's Day thing for a week or 2 days and say, hey, this is matching. And, we can change the program up at any time.
Is there abilities to do like, a Black Friday sale, and Black Friday they get a matching for that day only, and or maybe picking the Small Business Saturday as well, just
I
instead of
wouldn't
doing that?
complicate it, Charlie.
No.
I'd just get the money and let them spend it whenever they can.
Okay.
There's so much on that weekend, there's so many promotions going on in so many places. I don't think that there's any, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry. Can I go?
I think that's almost everything, isn't it?
Do we want to
Why don't we have a vote on this before Valerie bolts?
Do we want to put $2,500 towards the gift card program and start promoting it again? It's
I
still
propose we
live.
put $2,500 towards the gift card program and get it started as soon as possible. If we like it, we may refresh it in December. Is there a
I
second?
will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. And the final bit of business for this month's meeting is, once again, we invite you to join us at Three Cats for the Christmas DDA meeting. We will have refreshments, and it will be in the afternoon.
We have typically done 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. Is that good with everybody?
Okay, so the December meeting will be at Three Cats at 4 o'clock on the third Wednesday in December.
And we'll start baking right now.
You want me to make a motion to adjourn as I walk out the door?
Do we have a motion to
We're
adjourn?
at 9, and I already told
Second.
them I was late, but.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all for coming.